Okay, good. So yeah, so this is a beautiful ranch behind you, it looks like. Tell me about this. Where are you exactly?
I'm in Sierraville, California. This is high up
Uh-huh.
in the mountains, and
Hmm.
it's a cattle ranching community.
Wow. And you were brought up in that kind of environment?
Yes, I was brought up in on a cattle ranch on the eastern plains of Colorado.
Wow. Does that mean you got to lasso your own bull, or how does that, what exactly do you do
Oh,
in a ranch, cattle ranch?
oh yes, yes. I was in the rodeos. We were out there with the cattle wrestling and you know, on a cattle ranch.
No, but being on a cattle ranch, I assume you learned how to milk cows and things like that. Things that have never done.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
sounds exciting. Wow.
that's part of it. Yep.
Yeah. And how did you get into the whole music world?
Oh, well, my mom and my maternal grandmother were self-taught musicians,
Hmm.
and my grandmother played the piano and sang, and my mom played the guitar and sang. And
Wow.
so it's very important to them that I receive musical training and very committed. We drove 70 miles to weekly piano lessons.
Oh my God. I'm trying to teach and right now I'm in a conversation with a guy that's not sure he wants to drive 30 miles to have piano lessons. So that's good for
Oh,
you. Wow, that's commitment. Wow. And so you started by what kind of age do you think? What did you start?
4,
Wow. So your parents were committed to you getting into
right.
music. Did they want you to be a musician at an early age, or is that a decision you made
Um,
kind of later in life?
they wanted me to learn music, and then later on there was a concern that I wouldn't make a living that way, and so I went to pre-med.
Uh-huh.
But believe me, you would not want me to be your doctor. And the universe knew it, I knew it. And one semester before finals, I just got in my car and drove away. And
Wow.
yeah, and then I auditioned at the Lamont School of Music at University of Denver in Colorado,
Hmm.
and they gave me a full scholarship on the spot. And so
Wow.
there was the universe telling me, "This is what you're supposed to be doing."
I love it. And you listened and you made the hard move to like just quit
Yes,
that
I
other
did.
thing. And that is
Yeah.
that is very admirable. Now, when you said did you have to audition, like play some pieces, or what was that process like?
Oh well, it was kind of odd. I just walked into the school there. It was just a building right on the street on the sidewalk. I just walked
Yeah.
in and went to the office and I said, "How do I audition?"
Hmm.
Uh, for piano. And she just made a phone call, and there were two piano teachers there with nothing else to do, and they said, "Come on in."
Oh.
I played what I played for my high school senior recital. I wasn't
Ah.
even prepared. I thought, I would set something up, but you
Oh
know,
my
it
God.
it, it just happened all in
That's
one day.
wonderful. What do you remember what you played on that fateful day?
Oh, I played Beethoven Opus 54 Sonata.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, I would played a Bach English Suite in A minor,
Mm.
and I might have played Malagueña. I don't remember
Oh wow.
exactly.
Yeah. So that's pretty intense stuff. Well, good for you. That's excellent. And the rest is history, as they say.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. But what did happen after that? So after college, what kinds of opportunities opened for you? What was the universe giving you or offering you on the way that you took advantage of it? How did you take the next steps to where you are today, which is obviously very accomplished and you have a lot of music behind you now. So in fact, one of the challenges in this interview is to figure out what do we
Oh,
play?
well, I did graduate. I got my bachelor's in music and piano performance from the Lamont School of Music at the University of Denver,
Hmm.
and then I taught privately in a music store, and
Hmm.
at the same time, I worked mornings at a hospital doing medical transcription because
Oh my
my
God.
training, um, you know, ears, fingers, pedals for the
You had it
and
all.
So I was able to make a living for a while.
That is great.
Yeah, it was really a nice life. And then I went to a summer camp in Vancouver Island,
Hmm.
Victoria, in
Oh, it's a
Canada.
beautiful area. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And I studied with some of the greatest pianists in the world. I
Mm.
studied with John Ogden and I studied with Ronald Cherini.
Hmm.
And I remained in contact with Ronald Cherini for several years. And one day we were visiting, and one day I was just um, I was just improvising, making stuff up like I do. And he just sort of said casually, if you wrote that down, you'd be a composer. And
Mm.
it had never crossed my mind. I'd never thought of it that way.
No kidding. Wow. So you
Yeah,
weren't composing at a young age. It was kind of one of those things
no,
you, yeah.
no,
Wow.
I wasn't. And
Mm.
I don't think it was because I couldn't. It had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Little girls, we don't get role models as composers.
No.
We
Well, that
don't.
was a seminal moment. Obviously, that was a wonderful event. So,
Yeah, yeah. It was about several months later, I just decided to write some things down,
mm.
and I wrote down my first piece. It's called Under the Blue Dome, which is
Mm.
about my childhood growing up on the plains of Colorado. It's the big sky country, right?
I think
And
that's online, isn't it? I think we could actually listen to that. True.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
available. That's me playing.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
and it got me into graduate composition program at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music.
Wonderful.
And
Wow.
so I rolled up my roots and moved to San Francisco, and I've lived here ever since.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, and then I have my foot in this Sierra world here, uh,
Hmm.
which reminds me so much. I have so much connection here. Um, you know, Psychologically, as a cowgirl,
I
a
love
cow
it.
woman.
Are they
And
going to have you milk some cows tonight? Or you have to do that in the morning, actually, right? Yeah.
I don't see any back here, but they're usually here.
I love it. I love it. Well, I did take some of the things that you'd sent me, and I've staged them on my browser. Now they are YouTube videos, so I did play them a little bit to make sure that you know the ads are gone. But you never know; they may pop up. Of course, when we edit it, we can edit it
Oh,
out.
right.
But let's say I have Phase D for the full orchestra. I love the way you had the music and you wrote it out. It looks like so. You actually do you
Yes, I
always?
did that. I did that in graduate school. I
Mm,
wrote a symphony in graduate school. And as with everything in my compositional life, that piece was also part of my childhood upbringing.
mm,
Well, my early adulthood, rather. Um, my brothers had a reputation for being able to train wild horses,
really?
uh,
Wow.
to tame and train wild horses. And so
Mm,
those are the things that they did.
hmm.
And unfortunately, on one of these jobs, one of my brothers was taming and training a wild horse, and he fell and got injured. His A head injury, a really bad one.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Mm.
he was in coma for 2 years before he died.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
I know,
geez.
I know. It's still hard to talk about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wrote a symphony. I didn't plan to write a symphony. I was just writing. I was at graduate school, fresh, fresh composer. I was
Right.
just composing, and I didn't even realize what I was composing. I was just writing down
Mm,
what was coming to me. And then
mm.
it was about midway through, I figured it out. This is about my brother. This
Oh
is
wow.
yeah, it turned into
Oh.
a requiem.
Oh wow. Should we play a little of it?
Sure.
Okay. So let me share the screen with you. And you have to make sure I share sound because sometimes I forget that. And let's see, where are we here? Um, We are here. It's screen 3. Okay. So you should see, I'm going to select this now. And now it goes on for 11 minutes. Should I play the beginning or is there a specific
You can
point you'd
play the
like me to?
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. I love your drawings.
Yeah, those
That's
are necessary when you have an extended percussion section. Is it okay if I stop it? Yep.
I mean, I can continue playing it and we'll edit this part out so it could be continuous, but I'm absolutely loving this. First of all, you rarely see, even on YouTube, the written out score as it's being played, which is phenomenal to watch. And for me, I'm still an amateur compared to you professionals out there. And I am just floored by how, first of all, you did it by hand, which completely blows my mind. But secondly, that you know how all these different instruments work and you know how they work together, and then you put it together. And how do you do it? That's always something that's fascinating me. How do you actually put this all together? Um, do you do it on the piano, or do you do it by your ear? Do you do it? Do you have people like play different parts for you from their instruments, or
I,
what's your modus operandi, so to speak?
I do it by ear. I forgot to mention that I also play the trumpet. And
Ah,
so I was in orchestras and, bands and orchestras and brass quintets. And the other
hmm.
thing, I'm also a percussionist. I was a drummer in a rock band when I was in high school.
Ah, okay, there you go.
So, and I think from being in an orchestra and around other musicians,
Hmm.
that it just buries into your brain.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have any trouble imagining these sounds. It
Hmm.
came to me, and I was able to just write them down. like I said, I did not plan this. This is what was coming into my imagination
Wow.
as I was writing it.
And then,
And
these are not easy parts, the way you
no,
put them all together,
no,
I don't even know how you could vision. So you think on all those levels at once, it feels like you have this idea of what the sound should be across a
yeah,
whole orchestral texture, and you
yeah.
figured out how to invoke these things. It's just wonderful. Yeah. So this is a work of art, truly, and it goes on for almost 12 minutes. How long did it take you to compose this?
Um, 2 years.
Hmm. I could see that it's a really a work of art and just a beautiful piece. Um, is there any other part of it you want to highlight? Perhaps the ending or the middle or any other part before we move
Oh,
on?
well, I can tell you the first movement, what we were just listening to, that's the coma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yes.
And phase D is it's centered on D, but it's also about death.
Mm.
And the middle movement, the second movement, is a simple sigh of grief. You know,
And is that in this 12-minute recording or is that a different part?
that's in the 12-minute recording.
Do you know offhand where it starts, roughly?
Oh, I don't know exactly the minutes.
Okay.
Um, and then the third movement, you'll be able to hear it and see it. The third movement is it's about resurrection. It's about
I think the
living
second movement might be right
on.
here. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you, but I'm thinking the second movement's right here. So let's do a little of this because it changes right there. You can see it visually.
yeah. Oh, that's still the first movement. You can
Oh, it's
play
still the first
that.
movement?
Yeah,
Okay.
percussion. That's the percussion cadenza. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, let's listen to it then. Okay, good.
But
I love the way you had at one point some special effects with, I think people were blowing air through
yeah,
through.
the blowing air through and doing the fingerings.
Yeah, yeah. Now this is the second movement, clearly, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
next.
So let's play a little of that. And this again, what does this represent?
A simple sigh of grief,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and it features the note D.
Okay. I noticed that you changed the meter almost every measure. I absolutely love that. It has a really good organic feel. It's just lush. It's just beautiful. It's just gorgeous. So kudos to you. And then uh, the third movement is what then? What happens in the third
Called,
movement?
yeah, it's called Awake.
Hmm. Okay. Is that something, can we detect that when we move on here, do you think?
Yeah, and I use the same theme that's in the first movement. The first movement is called Asleep. It's about the coma.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then the third movement is about Awake,
Yeah.
um, which is about my religious belief that we'd go to heaven. And
Oh.
that I truly believe that my brother awoke in heaven.
Hmm.
But I use the same theme from Asleep, but I invert it,
Ah, okay.
and
I'm not,
it's
I'm not, yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
to a lovely melody that rises up.
Wow. I also noticed at one point you actually have the string section take a melody and you move it through the whole section, start from the violins and go down to the double bass. So we don't get the appreciation of that from a stereo effect in this mode, but I'm sure seeing it live, it must have been
Right.
amazing. And getting
Yeah.
this performed live must have been a wonderful treat for you. It's just beautiful. How did you get that done?
I won there's a contest every year for the student composers, and I won it in 1987, and that
Wow.
was the prize, was to get it performed in Herbst Theater and recorded it.
What a prize. I mean, that must be a rush. That's got to be amazing. I know I
Oh,
sometimes when I hear one of my pieces played by somebody else or some group or something, it just blows me away. But having a whole orchestra, that's something I've never experienced. That must be amazing. And what a great tribute to your brother.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, It's
Mm.
quite a yeah,
Now you were brought up, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I dedicate Phase D to the belief that every sleeping thing awakens in its own time, in its own way.
Mm. Now tell me, how were you brought up that I know you are of Indian heritage, true?
That's true.
And so does that mean that you were brought up in an Indian culture with
Oh, I
those
have,
guys? Yeah.
I'm an eighth Cherokee by blood,
Okay.
and like I was always told, I do believe that the heritage it is passed down in some ways. I don't speak the language. We weren't,
Yeah.
we were great hunters. We were very good with the horses. That's why we were, training them for other people.
Right.
Um, um, we we actually ate very little beef. We ate the antelope because it was
Oh,
better.
wow. Now, the next thing I thought we'd play is wind chimes.
Okay,
And
sure.
that's a nice performance. You have a violinist there. And do you want to give us a little background on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember when I wrote that one. I think it was in 1998,
Hmm.
1998, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I was house sitting for a friend, and she had these incredible wind chimes, um, and a Steinway B.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
That's
it
a
was
great
like,
combination.
well, yeah, and they were singing, and so they were singing. I was at the piano, so I didn't take them down. She said, I have to take those things down whenever I compose, and I just sat there and I just sort of wrote what they were singing. And,
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's listen to some of this. This is well, all of it
right?
actually. It's about 3 minutes long. It's called Wind Chimes. And
And this was the East Coast premiere
oh, excellent. Where was this actually done? Do you know?
in Utica, New York.
Oh, nice. Wow, very nice. So let's see, we have a few other things. We have the Swale Pond premiere, the Nicolay premieres Glass Suite, the Pomp and
Oh,
Circumstance, and then and New of Latte for. So what would you like me to play next?
oh, um, let's do Swale Pond.
Mm, okay, tell us a bit about that.
Well, um, this was also in upstate New York in the Utica area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you know, I am a student of Rami Barney. I've never stopped learning. I'm proud to be a student still.
Yeah,
Um, I attend his piano camps in upstate New York.
he's
Um,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, oh, he's an amazing teacher. He has a way of getting inside you, and
Mm,
there's something.
yeah,
He's so observant and
yeah.
so empathetic. I don't know. I can't explain it, but
Hmm.
he's fixed me in a number of ways too. Of my piano
Wow,
playing, yeah,
wow.
and he's a composer too. So you
Yes.
know,
I did
there's
not
a
know that, by the way, until recently, but I did interview him, and I
oh
think
yeah,
that's how I got. I think that
he's
just
a wonderful
got yeah,
composer.
yeah. So now this is a recent thing. It looks like a recent piece of music that you
Yeah,
composed.
this is I finished it. Yeah, I finished it. I think it was right before they played it. About 2 weeks before they played it. I think it was
Oh
I
wow!
finished
Oh
it
my
on
God!
January 5th. I remember the day. I remember
Wow!
on January 21st of this year.
Now this goes on for 14 minutes. I don't think I could fit all of it in the interview, but is
Oh,
there?
yeah, you probably can't. But
Yeah.
it's about again, it's a nature theme,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about this bird conservatory, this beautiful place called Swale Pond, and it's protected.
Mm.
And the pianist commissioned it from me. And
Oh.
yeah, she heard my first piano piece Under the Blue Dome. I gave it to her and she loved it. And then she saw me again and she said, "Would you write for for four hands?
Wow.
Pianist four hands." I said, "Sure." And she said, "Well,
Excellent.
and then this was the idea that they wanted me to write about was Swale Pond. I said, "That's fine. That's right up my alley." And so we took a walk around it with an artist who paints Swale Pond,
Mm.
and Rami was there too. And it was just a lovely day. And I heard the toads and the birds and the geese and the beavers and and the light and the trees, and that's what it's all about. So it's
Excellent.
like
Okay.
yeah.
Let's play some of this. That's wonderful.
All right.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the world premiere of Swale Pond. Take another bow, you folks. You're wonderful.
All right, so God, I wish we could play everything. It's already 45 minutes into it, and of course, there's some things we'll cut out. Now you have the glass suite, and this is interesting because he talks about the fact that he's going to play it beforehand. We don't have to include all this. We could just go right to the glass suite
Right.
if you want. And then you have pomp and circumstance. And this is actually a whole other thing that has to do with your husband who's
Oh, Noof Dalate. Oh,
Ethiopian.
he's Ethiopian. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That
So
was a tune I got from the mountains of Ethiopia. The they're all cattle people there too. I
wonderful.
really I know. I was up in the mountains where they have sheep because sheep can, can traverse the mountains better. So the mountains
Yeah.
of sheep. And these were the shepherds, and they were playing and this and that, and they were talking to each other with their flutes, and
I love it. So let's play
yeah,
this then, shall we?
yeah.
Okay. What a beautiful voice. Oh my God. That was
Yeah,
wonderful.
isn't she
Where
gorgeous?
where did you find her?
Oh, that was Lorene Spain.
Whoop,
I
sorry.
met
Sorry.
her through
Yep.
some friends.
Mhm.
She's African American. She lives in Norway now.
Mm.
But oh, what a powerful singer. I heard her and just fell in love.
Wow. That is
Uh,
beautiful. So I don't know if we can fit this all in the interview, but I'd love to play some of the Glass Suite and then
sure.
maybe Pomp and Circumstance too. Does that make sense?
Um, sure.
Okay. So
I
what's the
would,
story behind it?
it's a 25th, uh, 25th year class reunion.
Ah.
Um, so I worked with her and then two librettists on this.
Mm.
Lyricist, unfortunately, she died in a tragic car accident before
Oh
we were able to.
no.
I know.
Oh my
Another
God.
thing, right? Um,
Wow.
but we finished it um in her honor.
Mm.
And we all pitched in and we did lyrics that sounded like her lyrics.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
we
Wow.
were able to finish it.
Oh my.
But this is her lyrics.
Oh wow. Okay.
This would be definitely her lyrics.
Okay.
Our government? My country, wrong or wrong?
I played the game at your request. I want your goddamn more. Now you want to change the rules, but you don't know the score. I did what I had to do in jungle, mud, and rain. And now you say that was so much a trip in vain. Who changed the rules? Who changed the rules? Who changed the rules? I had a wife, a marriage once, that's when it all began. She said I was too wrapped up in proving I'm a man. Why not be more in touch with feelings, she would plead. I am not some faucet you turn on when there's a need. She changed the rules, she changed the rules, she changed the rules. I read poems as a boy, used to love their feel, love the touch and sound of words, only they were real. Don't know who that boy is now, where he went or how. I became a man, and I don't read poems now. I became a lion, sacrificed a lamb. Just when I got good at it, what did they do? I don't know who that boy is now, where he went or how. I became a man, and I don't read poems now.
Order's always the same, isn't it? Did you see the way he loved, the way he turned to stone?
Oh my God, what did I say?
Stood there all alone.
I should have known that words would wound.
There were scars that never showed.
I wonder what I would be like if I had been the one to know.
He said she just walked out on him.
Once you let it start, turn around and then one day together, then apart. Nothing you can really count on, nothing certain, nothing clear, nothing sacred anymore. When we go.
That is very touching. And yeah, a real issue. That really
Yeah,
gives you a view of what they went through. Oh my God. That's very
yeah.
touching. Now, this is a beautiful piece, the Glass Suite. Tell us a little bit about that. And then you have people dancing to the whole thing. So it's a wonderful major production.
Okay, I didn't plan it to be a ballet.
Yeah.
I was asked by the pianist to write a piece for him, and he really liked my dishes that I serve on. I serve on depression glass, and I had written a little bit about them, but he said, "Why don't you write more, all the colors?"
Mm,
And I said, "That's a good idea. I'll call it Glass Suite." And
mm,
so we just did this. It was again a long distance collaboration over chat,
mm-hmm.
and I would send him scores, and then he would record them and send them back. And I said, "Wow, you played that really well." And he goes, "JJ, I just played what you wrote." It's like, you have no idea how you have no idea like, how phenomenal that is.
Wow. Wow.
And then as we were finishing it, he said, I hear dancers, I hear a ballet, I hear dancing, I hear a ballet. And I
Mm.
said, he's Russian, okay? So when a Russian tells you, I hear a ballet, you go out and you get the dancers. So that's what I did. And we did these vintage social dances that go with the era of the manufacture of depression glass, and they did beautifully. They did perfectly. I mean, they really made those dishes dance.
Now, I don't know if we'll have more time for this, but you do have a place where you got a whole crew of people dancing, as I
Yeah,
remember.
that's the finale.
Yeah.
I should also mention that I worked on this with Rami at his piano camps.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's very helpful as a composition
Mm,
teacher, and you know.
yeah. that is not easy to play, A, and B, you
No,
memorized it all too. That's impressive.
yeah, I was so touched that he memorized it. And he
Mm.
just, that's nothing, you know, I would not have music. It would be rude to play with music in front of an audience. It's like, okay,
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
expected, but thank you.
Yeah, really. But thank you. I see a lot of new names here. So these are probably friends of yours, JJ. So that's wonderful.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yes, exactly. So now's a great time. You're being recorded, but hope you don't mind. But I'd love to have field any questions or answer any questions that you have, and I'm sure JJ would be glad to answer.
Yeah, sure.
It,
JJ,
it's just fun. Yeah, that last stuff was fun. It was great. Even with the stop action, it was just fine because the piano kept rolling. So
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
and dancer stop action. I mean,
when you're writing, do you hear as it's going to sound? When you're just writing, away from an instrument? And does it always sound the way you thought it would?
Well, I write music as it comes to me. And maybe yeah, I write music. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I write music as it comes to me. And most of the time it sounds like what I thought it would. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I'm surprised. But I've always heard music in my head, and that's what I write down.
Has any of it ended up on the cutting room floor? You know, after you write it, you hear it.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Something's too long, or you know, yeah. I do go back and edit. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Carolyn Arnell, you have a great backdrop there.
Oh, thank you.
Hi,
One of my
Carolyn.
paintings. May I ask a question?
Sure.
Hi. So I've had the privilege of performing JJ's Under the Blue Dome and working with her.
Excellently.
Oh, why, thank you, miss. And and we've had a wonderful time collaborating together on JJ is in the midst of writing a piece for the people in the Sierra Valley.
Yes, for the
Yeah, and
it's
so
Musica Sierra for the students.
right. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, I've had a wonderful time performing your music and working with the children, and I love all of your sensibilities and your sensitivities and how you depict nature. And I'm really blown away by this whole compilation of your work in this segment. It's I'm going to urge you again about that website because
Yes.
it's
Yes.
Yeah.
just such a beautiful spread of music. And Anthony, thank you so much for focusing on JJ and for sharing her diverse works and kind of
Oh.
getting into the her motivations and inspirations. It's just beautiful, really,
Thank
really
you.
beautiful. And so we say many congratulations. But now, JJ, over to you.
Oh yeah. Carolyn and I are working on my piece that was commissioned by Musica Sierra, which is it's in the Sierra Valley where we just were, and it's called Fauna Sierra. It's about the animals that live in the Sierra Mountains. It's a 6-movement piece. There's 6 animals. And it's just been wonderful working with Musica Sierra and with Carolyn. Carolyn, you are fabulous, and you're so good with the kids. And so we premiere one piece every year. this upcoming one is the last week in February, if I remember correctly, and it's going to be about mountain quail. And the poet is Jeff Kalis, who's a very dear friend of mine. Oh, by the way, it has words. I have found poets, or I found existing poetry about all of these 6 animals.
That's wonderful.
What are the animals? Let's see: monarch butterfly,
Monarch butterfly,
mountain quail, blue jay, black bear, sandhill crane. What else is there? I think there's another one, but I can't remember it right now.
we have to.
White-tailed deer.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, shout out to Musica Sierra, because they've got their boots on the ground. They're Juilliard graduates, and they're putting their time into the Sierra Valley, the cattle ranching community in California, and bringing music back into the schools. And, I just want to say something. I wrote this up, so I'm going to read it. Music is fundamental to a holistic and complete education. It's not just extracurricular. The kids' brains form neural pathways that increase perceptions and understandings in math, science, language. And playing in the band, singing in the choir increases social skills and community interactions. So it's really important to have music in the schools.
Yes. I was telling JJ earlier, I think I read something that the investment per capita in Germany is like $66 per capita for school and music, and in this country it's like 16 cents. It's just terrible. It's terrible.
No.
Now, on a nicer note, there's 3 Carolyns in the audience tonight, and there's a Carolyn Arnell that has an amazing background. Carolyn, what is going on there? That's a beautiful background. We got to just highlight that. What's going on?
It's one of my paintings. It's
Isn't that nice?
Oil painting with sand in it.
Oh my God.
Oh, Carolyn, hi. Carolyn, we went to school together at the Conservatory of Music in San Francisco. We're old friends, and she's an amazing composer.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. She's won the prize, the Rome Prize, you name it, she's won it.
Oh my God. Well, Carol, maybe we should have an interview sometime.
I think so. That would be a good idea.
I would love that.
So this painting has got different volcanic sand that I collected from the different volcanoes in Iceland, and it's mixed with oil paint.
Wow.
It's big. Yeah.
It's actually gorgeous. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. My uncle was the co-founder of the op art movement back in the 60s. And if you go to franciscelentano.com, you'll see a lot of his work there. So I really appreciate things that are abstract and beautiful. That's just gorgeous. And actually, it has a lava feel to it. Is it actually a picture of lava mountains in the background?
Well, it goes with some a picture that some music that I wrote called Living Mountains.
Okay.
And it's a triptych of 3 orchestra pieces, and then it's got paintings that go with it, because usually my music has got paintings with it. It's kind
Carolyn,
of goes
I definitely
hand in
have
hand.
to talk to you later. We'll have to talk. We'll have to connect.
Yeah,
Well, thank
JJ
you.
and I go way back. We have a
Oh.
lot of similarities. We're similar souls.
Oh,
We
that's
have-
wonderful.
We've had the best times. Yeah,
We do.
we do.
I love it. And a shout out to your husband, who's been helping with the technology, making sure that you're connected today. So we appreciate that. 'cause there was
Yeah.
a problem earlier with the phone. So I'm glad that
Yeah.
all worked out. Does anyone else want to say anything else before we wrap up? I want to thank you all for your time tonight. Well, thank you. And if you go to composerscorner.com, you'll find more interviews up there. I've probably done about 50 by now. And they're categorized by classical and new age and modern and all of that, jazz and political. We have some political ones up there. And actually, I haven't posted the most recent one, so I'll have to catch up and do that. That's my job. My to-do for my website is to get that up to speed. So thank you all for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. I wish you all a great week, a great Labor Day weekend. And
Thank you.
I'm going to end this with the ending of the pre-recorded interview that has a lot of thank yous to the people you wanted to thank, JJ. So thank you. So I'm going to share with you the end of this production and then wish you all a good night. So thanks
Thank
again.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Sure. So here we go.